Who's ready for beer? 1 o'clock alarm. Let's do this. Yep. Damn right. Damn right, Kentucky. Damn right. It's fucking beer time. A nice winter brew. Yes, Wagons, yes. I think it's time for us to do the damn thing. So why don't we do this? Boom. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday, and welcome to another live beer review. And today, we're going to be taking a look at another... Well, I've already done a few beer from these guys already this week, but why not do another one? So today, we're going to be taking a look at another one from Noon Whistle Brewing. Today, we got the Percolator. Scotch ale with some coffee in it. Nice little kind of cool little like record kind of look to the front of it. I think that's pretty dope. It's clean, it's sophisticated, and it's pretty badass, I think. Nice little clean label. Definitely would be something that would catch my eye if you're like, well, if you're into records, this would definitely be something that would catch your interest, I think. Because, you know, if you're into this kind of stuff, it's a cool looking label. So yeah, let's see. I've already talked about Noon Whistle before. It kind of originated from the owners that used to live in Whistle, Wisconsin, to where there used to be a whistle that tolled at noon every day, pretty much as a sign for it to be time to drink the first beer of the day, which is really cool. I like that kind of thing that they do with that. So, yeah, this one's a nice little Scotch ale with some coffee notes in it. So, but The dot looks like my beehole. Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, this one is actually a Scotch ale, and the really cool thing is it's actually blended with an Ethiopian coffee that's actually from a local roaster by me called Five and Hook in Wheaton, Illinois. So that's really cool how they kind of stuck with local roasters as well to kind of make this beer. So yeah, let's crack her open, see what we're gonna be looking at. Let's see what we got on the smell. Oh yeah, getting like a nice kind of bitter, kind of malty smell on it already. Definitely has like kind of like a tart. It's weird. I'm kind of getting the smell like I would off like of a sour, kind of a little bit. Which it might be some of those like roasty notes a little bit. Yeah, definitely getting a little bit of like that coffee kind of smell in there but with like a little bit of like a sweet maltiness coming up the smell too. Let's pour her and see what she looks like. Today, drinking out of my untapped tulip glass. Let's see how she pours. Oh yeah, very dark, very nice roasty kind of looking complexion. Not as like stout dark, but definitely has more of like a brownish kind of caramelized color, I guess you can say. You can kind of see it a little bit there. It's not the color of a stout to the most, but definitely has those darker kind of notes in it as well. So yeah, this guy is an 8.5%, which higher up there in ABV. Definitely something to get the taste buds going for the first beer of the day, I think. Definitely getting more of those coffee notes coming through, but I wonder what I'm gonna be if that coffee is gonna be giving me any kind of different notes to the Scotch ale. So let's give her a try. So cheers, everybody. That's nice. That is really nice. Wow. So right off the bat, the coffee is like more predominantly forward in the beginning, which is nice. Doesn't really have like a heavy mouthfeel to it at all. It's just the coffee note lingers on your tongue a little bit, and then it kind of washes away with like some kind of like caramel kind of sweetness I'm getting too, which is kind of nice. Definitely getting some kind of like sugary kind of sweetness to kind of backwash that coffee note away. But overall, this is really, really good. I definitely get all like the malty kind of sweetness that I would expect from a good Scotch ale. Definitely has that kind of boozier kind of feel as well, which kind of gives like a, like the warmth feeling after you're having like a higher ABV beer. Definitely has that kind of like very like strong oomph to it, but without a heavy mouthfeel, which is nice. Yeah, that's good. That's very, very solid. Definitely mostly predominantly coffee in this. I'm just getting like slight caramelly kind of sweetness at the end, but overall, yeah, that's a really, I like this. This is stellar. So let's see what Untapped has to say about this beer. So, like I said before, it's an 8.5% ABV Scotch ale brewed with coffee and has 100 IBUs. So I'm kind of getting like with the coffee notes in there, you kind of get like a natural bitterness when it comes to different things that are how that coffee was made, how it was grown, and all that kind of stuff. The roasting process with it all, and it's just. But it's like definitely has like those natural acidic kind of coffee notes that I would expect. That's really, I'm not really finding any kind of other things that are broken down with the coffee being added in here. But to me, it's just like a strong, like kind of natural black coffee kind of taste with that kind of washes over your mouth with like a good caramel finish. And it's delicious. So let's see. This beer has an average rating of 3.92 on Untapped with over 1,084 ratings. So yeah, that's pretty damn good for what it is. So let's see what people are rating this guy. So somebody rated it a 4. Somebody gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Somebody gave it 4.5, 3.75, 3.5. 3.25. So he said it was a subtle coffee with a nice Scotch taste. Okay, let's see. This guy gave it a 4.5. That's just enough coffee to make it interesting. So yeah, people are liking the coffee note in here, which is, it's overall really, really smooth. Definitely a nice, steady drinker, I would say. But this is delicious. Yeah, it's good. Very, very good. There's something I'm getting with that kind of malty, kind of caramelly sweetness at the end that's kind of giving it like an extra zing. Like adding like maybe like an acidic bitterness to it at the end. What is that? I'm getting something. I'm trying to figure out what the hell it is. It's I don't know. It's like, I'm trying to think. Maybe like, how do I explain that? Not like a charcoaly kind of bitterness, maybe, where it's like that kind of roasted kind of flavor that adds like a natural acidic kind of feeling at the end, that it balances out the strong coffee taste. Then you get like a sweetness from like a caramel maltiness, and then it gets right back to like a slight bitterness and acidic kind of taste as well. But it's not overpowering. It's not something that makes your jowls feel all weird. It's not something that just, it like makes you like not enjoy it while you're drinking it. I think it's very delicious, very well balanced, because you're gonna get the flavors you get in this beer in stages. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting coffee up front, slight sweetness, and then going back to like some kind of charcoaly kind of acidic bitterness that is added in there, which is, I think it well balances the overall experience with this, because you don't want the coffee to be too overly in your face, but you don't want to wash the sweetness of being just like too sweet at the end. So I'm definitely thinking this one is just the stages, how the flavors hit you with this one. It's pretty unique and it's good. Definitely, I'm enjoying this. I'm definitely enjoying this one. So let's see what we're going to do about ratings for this guy. So let's look at can art first of all. Yeah, this is totally badass. I know you can get Noon Whistle stuff in like local liquor stores by me, or you can get it at the brewery itself. But the label kind of looking like a record. Yeah, that's badass. I like that. It kind of makes it look classy. Kind of just has a nice feel to it. So it's like if you're somebody who collects records. Citrus level, not really much citrus level in this at all. It's just you're getting the coffee flavor, mostly Duchess, but then it's just like strong coffee and that like those roasted kind of coffee notes with like a slight kind of like how like a coffee is a little bit bitter, but then it gets washed away really quick with like a malty caramelly sweetness, and then it goes back to like for like a millisecond of bitterness at the end, where it's just like you're letting your mouth sit with the flavors in there, and then it gets just a small amount of bitterness at the end that lingers. But overall, definitely delicious. So yeah, if I was a record collector and I saw this can art in a liquor store or a bottle shop, this would definitely be one that catches my eye, because it's just super clean, super kind of has that kind of coffee kind of logo on the top, which is really cool, and it's a very classy label. I kind of like how it's called the Percolator too. I don't know, it's a cool name. So yeah, this is a solid can art. So what would I give a rating for that? I give it maybe like a 3.75 for me. If I was a record collector, it would have a little bit of a higher rating, because it would hit like more of something I would enjoy, but I wouldn't say it's more. I'm not getting much creaminess from the coffee. It's more of like if I was drinking like a black coffee, like kind of that black coffee kind of flavor where it's like no added sweetness to it. It's just like the natural coffee flavor from it. Nothing that's gonna add. To me, I don't taste any natural sweetness from the coffee. It's just stronger, kind of like slight spiced kind of flavors with like some kind of herb kind of notes to it, but then it gets the coffee flavor gets washed away for a second with that malty kind of caramelly sweetness, but then it goes back to like some some kind of like acidic bitterness. That's the part that lingers a little bit. But it's overall really solid. So if I were to rate this can art, I think I already said, I think I'm definitely going to give this can art a solid 3.75 for me. It's not something that would catch my attention because I'm not a record collector for something that would stand out to me, because I'm more like into the intricate kind of can arts. But this is something that's very classy, very nice, and it just has everything you kind of want on there. Name, what kind of beer you're drinking, ABV, and just a classy label. So yeah, can art probably be a solid 3.75 for me. But let's see. If I would have gotten this beer in a flight at Noon Whistle, would I go in for another one? I probably would. This is definitely one that's a very unique Scotch ale to me. Has a lot of like kind of stout notes as well, with except for like the heavier kind of thick like creamier mouthfeel sometimes with a stout. But this is definitely one that the flavors are enjoyable. How the flavors hit you in like waves of like at the beginning being something, and then the middle being something different, and then the end being back to like what kind of the initial flavor was. So overall, very, very delicious. I definitely recommend this I'd even recommend this one if you're into like a nice coffee stout, because you're getting a lot of those similar flavors of a good coffee stout, to where you're going to be missing those like kind of darker kind of notes when it comes to it being a stout in general. You're going to be getting more of like a maltier taste instead of more of like just like a very deep, earthy, dark, kind of creamy kind of taste. So yeah, this is definitely a solid one. So I probably 100% get another glass of this if I got this in a flight, without a doubt. So let's see, what is my final rating on this guy going to be? This is definitely one of the more unique Scotch ales I've had, just because I've never really had a Scotch ale that had like a predominantly coffee taste in there. But adding that, like having the strong coffee in the beginning with it, and then kind of having it smooth out with that caramelly kind of sweetness, kind of like a caramelized sugar kind of taste. Then kind of going back to the slightly bitterness at the end to kind of remind you that this is a coffee beer. Yeah, it's delicious. So I think I'm going to go with a solid... I think I'm going to give this... this is a tough one. I'm definitely going to give this... Okay. I'm probably going to give this a solid 7.75 out of 10. I would have liked it if it would have just kind of... I would have liked it a little bit more if it would just start with the coffee, getting like the natural kind of bitterness from like a roasted kind of sensation you get from coffee, and then having that nice kind of caramelized sugar kind of maltiness at the end just wash away, because then you get the bitterness up front, you get like a strong coffee flavor at the beginning, and then it would wash away with a nice sweetness that would linger. I would have enjoyed it more if that's what it did, instead of going from like coffee to sweetness to going back to like slight bitterness at the end. So overall, it's a very, very solid brew. Noon Whistle just, I guess, knocked it out of the park again with another one. From the beers I've had from them, I haven't had one that I dislike. So if that's saying something for the brewery, I think it is. But it's definitely a solid one. So if you're ever in the northwest suburbs area, if you're looking for a new brewery to try out, they have 2 locations up in Naperville and in Lombard, Illinois. So you have a couple options to go to for trying up their stuff, or you can find them at local liquor stores when it comes to like the Chicagoland area, like your little mom and pop liquor store who has craft beer, or you probably find them at a Binny's as well. Binny's is kind of like the more franchise, bigger liquor store within like my area, I guess you can say. I know they have a huge craft beer selection. I've seen some Noon Whistle stuff from them, so definitely be one I would recommend keeping an eye out for if you're in this area. Even if you're in the Wisconsin area too, you might be able to find some of their stuff there. But yeah, this is another solid one. It kind of takes you for a ride on flavors you're getting, but it's overall very, very delicious. So yeah, I think that's what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. Greatly appreciate it. Remember, if you want to see what I'm drinking kind of stuff, and if you like putting out what you like to drink, find me on Untappd. Untappd is pretty much what I like to describe as social media for beer drinkers. Pretty much. So, and you can post what you like on there, what kind of beers you're drinking, so I can keep an eye out of stuff possibly to look for. If you have a high rating for a beer you drank, that's something I'll definitely keep an eye out for to see if I can find it in my area. Otherwise, other things I can recommend if you're looking for trying beer that aren't available in your area. I don't know if Noon Whistle's beers are available on Tavour or not, but I'm always going to recommend Tavour to anybody who sees my videos, because I've seen people on social media from Washington, D.C. getting stuff from Tavour, and like all kinds of... I know people in the Dallas area can get stuff from Tavour. It's like there's all kinds of places all over the country where you can luckily get this beer subscription / beer delivery service to where you live, which is really cool, because it sucks that some places can't get it just because they don't have a delivery service local to them that will deliver it. But if you're able to get your hands on stuff from Tavour, I highly, highly recommend it. They always have fantastic brews. They have so many different varieties, and it's an overall great experience with them. Their app is easy to use. To me, it's my ideal way for shopping for beer. Do they distro to my area or Cali? Let's look. Let's see. I don't know. I haven't really... Let's see. Play donations. Let's look. So store. Let's see if they have anything to store. I haven't seen anything when it comes to... It doesn't show their distribution. So... I guess you just have to... Duchess, if you wanted to try to find stuff from them, see if they can get to you, I would talk to your local liquor store and have them talk to their distributor. Just like say, I have this brewery in mind that's seeing if they can get, and then they can let their distributor know, and if their distributor doesn't have it, they can get a hold of Noon Whistle and possibly get their beer distributed to them. Overall, it would create a pretty cool experience, in my opinion, just because if you're able to get something that is usually local when it comes to being a smaller craft beer company that stays to like the Illinois area and want to get their beers out into like Arizona where you are, yeah, it's always something to kind of recommend. So having a relationship with your liquor store guy who does the ordering, it's always great because you can see what new stuff they get in, because they'll let you know what they have at the distro and all that kind of stuff. It's really, really cool that you can kind of grow those relationships as the consumer to get new stuff showing up at the shop. But yeah, I think that's what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. I greatly appreciate all of you. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Sunday. I know it's kind of the last day of the weekend, kind of last day of the week. I know everybody's kind of trying to readjust to everything with the time change and all that stuff with daylight savings. But yeah, that is what I have for you guys today. So if you're watching on the replay, thank you again for taking your time to take a look at one of my videos. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button with that notification bell as well. Let you know whenever I go live doing another review. I have some reviews coming out next week, so keep an eye out for that. Another 7-day schedule of reviews, so there's no stopping, can't stop, won't stop kind of situation. So you guys can catch me back here tomorrow at 4 p.m. going back to the regularly scheduled programming instead of 3 p.m. like it's been the past 2 days. So yeah, that is it, guys. So I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, fantastic rest of your weekend. And remember, if you're going to drink responsibly, don't drink and drive, and cheers, everybody.